Checking back in with another one. Now y'all already knew this was coming. We did the short. Y'all already know what was coming. It's time to get into the Naruto live. I know it took a little bit longer than that hour preparation time, but I'm telling you, I'm in the process of trying to move, so I needed to get things going. Right now, we still holding it down in my closet because obviously you ain't gonna be able to see all the madness that's going on around right now. But hey, we got space, we got light, we doing it. We gonna make it happen. So the question for today, whenever y'all start hopping in, if y'all wanna get into it. If not, it is what it is. Just know it's gonna be in the back of your mind because you heard it. So question for the day was the the Uchiha coup. What if it succeeded? Right? Would it have worked in their favor? Would it have gone completely wrong? You know, what you think the consequences would be? You think that you think that it would have been like, would the police force have stayed the same? Let's not forget all the police force was Uchihas. What y'all think? So I'm uh I'm gonna start off with my opinion of how I think it would have went based off of what I remember so far. Obviously, I need to start doing a bunch of recapping on the episodes and everything just to make sure that I'm fully I fully understand what I'm trying to get across. So mind you, my opinion on it obviously comes from a viewpoint of you know, when you got that type of environment, you got the village and everything. You try to be peaceful, right? You ain't even about all that drama. So I think if it was the coup actually happening, right? So from my understanding, what I remember, the Uchihas initially was starting the rebellion. What I do not know was the reason for the rebellion. So I feel like if I had a better, if I actually knew the better reasoning behind the rebellion itself, if anyone knows the actual reason behind why the Uchihas was trying to start the rebellion, let me know. That way I can orient my answers around that. You heard? So going off of the fact that I don't know what the root of the rebellion was, if the rebellion happened and with the knowledge that I currently have, which is in my head, the Uchihas started the rebellion. Tobirama and them, they knew the rebellion was coming, but they offered the village. This ain't happening. This ain't how the village work. We're gonna nip this in the bud. Going off of that, right? So the Uchihas essentially are at fault for trying to do this rebellion. Mind, like I said, if y'all know the actual reason of why they was starting the rebellion, let me know because I didn't catch that part. So let me put this down, right? I feel like the way it would have played out, if the rebellion actually popped off, I feel like this might be me being crazy, but I feel like if the rebellion actually popped off, what would have happened is instead of Itachi getting the opportunity to go and kill his own village, I think that Itachi would have somehow ended up siding with the village. But he would have still been put in an even tougher predicament because he probably would have ended up having to see Sasuke, young Sasuke again, which would have I feel like that would have really changed the playing field with how Itachi himself sees things, right? I don't feel like because the last time that we was talking about the Uchihas, right? We was talking about how uh Toby Obito was instigating shit. So that was going on, Benny. We talking about if the Uchiha coup actually happened, would it have succeeded? So that's what we trying to figure out right now. So let me know your thoughts on this, because we trying to figure out how this would have played out and everything, right? So I feel like a lot of what would have happened. One, we got to base it off of the fact that Toby, Obito, was instigating shit, right? So he instigating stuff. Two, Itachi himself was the one who was put in a tough predicament. So Itachi would have still ended up having to choose whether it was a clan or the village, right? I think the way it would have turned out also depends on how many people currently in that clan that was not Obito or Itachi that had the different uh what's going on? What's going on? Make sure y'all put in the comments where y'all coming from too. So, let everybody know where y'all hailing from. Let them know where we need to be, where we not at, where we missing out on. But like I was trying to say, so what I say I said it was gonna be based off of, like, you over here got me listen to my train of thought. Yeah, I said it was gonna be based off of, one, Itachi being put in that tough position. Two, it was gonna be based off of oh yeah, that's what I was trying to get to. So minus Toby, Obito, and Itachi, because obviously their eyes is a little bit different, right? I think it also would depend on how many people in the clan currently had them upgraded eyes, right? Because you gotta think about it. Only the Uchihas was trying to do this rebellion. It wasn't the uh what was Neji and Hinata's clan? The Hyuga? Yeah. They're the only other ones who got, um the visual prowess, right? So, and then, matter of fact, didn't the Uzumaki clan have some type of visual stuff going on? Am I tripping? Why do I feel like I heard a side episode and one of the Uzumakis had something going on with their eyes? I feel like I heard seen a flashback or something like that. I know I'm not tripping, but like I said, I think a lot of if it would have played out, would have ended up being based off of how many people in the clan currently had a visual prowess at the level of Itachi and Obito at the time. I feel like if nobody other than like them two was at them levels, they would have got mopped by the village. They would have got mopped. They would have still ended up getting. I don't even think that I don't even think they would have got sent to jail. I think that they would have still got killed, low key. I think that if the coup actually happened, I think that they would have still lost, and I think that they would have still ended up getting killed. That it might have not been, just Sasuke left, and it might not have ended up being the to where Sasuke, not Sasuke, but Itachi. I don't think that Itachi would have ever ended up in the Akatsuki, but I do think that he would have ended up being considered an outcast, obviously, from any of the other survivors who are part of the rebellion. If you get what I'm saying. So, obviously, when Itachi did the massacre, only Sasuke and Itachi left after that, right? And Obito. But if the rebellion happened, what I'm saying is, I don't think that it would have just been them two as survivors. Though I feel like most of them would have been wiped out still. Wiped out. Wouldn't have made it. Period. I don't think that they getting sent to jail. I think that the survivors would have got sent to jail. I don't think that even a quarter of the clan would have survived. I don't. I don't. You talking about in the same time frame that Tobirama and Hashirama was alive too, or no? In that time frame that in the time frame, is that right? Is that right? Is that timeline right? I feel like I'm slightly mixing up the timelines. Hold on. I'm saying Toby Rama, and now from what I remember, Toby Rama was the one who peeped that the rebellion was getting ready to happen. Am I wrong? Or was that or was Toby Rama farther back? Who Toby Rama was Hokage at the time, or he was just in charge of the police force? You don't know. You don't know. Oh, see, this is why I gotta. This is why I gotta go and backtrack these things. You know, because this is when you get to really thinking in depth on this stuff. You really got to think about the timeline and who was actually there at the time to figure out what really happened. You know, we need all the details. We need all of them. All of them. So y'all gotta correct me if I'm wrong. Y'all gotta correct me. So, like I said, I feel like it wouldn't have worked. The rebellion itself, especially if I'm right in the timeline and Toby Rama was there. Yeah, it wouldn't have worked. Nope, nope. Donzo wouldn't have let it happen. I can't stand Donzo. Donzo wouldn't have let that happen. Even though he didn't have everybody's eyes at the time, obviously, but he was still doing some shady work at the time. He would have still been doing shady work to where he was still gonna somehow end up getting some of them eyes even during the coup. I promise you, he would have tried to figure that shit out. So no, I don't think it would have worked in their favor. That coup, they get mocked. I promise you. Uh, I think a lot of it would have played into would Itachi have gotten swayed into being a part of the rebellion. I think that might have worked in their favor, but I feel like if they couldn't get Itachi on their side, instant fail, instant. And even if they ended up getting Itachi, who I'm trying to think of who would have been some of the top ninjas in that time frame. That obviously Itachi was a huge prospect because obviously you we would have had Prime Kakashi, not Prime. We would have had Kakashi would have been a threat at that time still because I young prodigy and everything. I'm pretty sure he was still young in that time frame, but he was a young prodigy already, if I remember right from the flashbacks. Uh, so Kakashi would have been a problem. Donzo and his shady ass would have been a problem. Toby Ramo would have been a problem. Who else would have been around at that time? Hiruzen would have been a problem. Mm, Orochimaru, I don't think he even started going the evil way at that time. Probably would have been a problem. Jiraiya, if he was there around that, if Jiraiya was there in the village around that time, he more than likely he probably was not a Toad Sage at the time. Maybe not a problem. That depends on his level of training. But I mean, you saw what he turned out to be. So it probably depends on how far he was into his stuff. Same with Tsunade. But Orochimaru, he's still kind of a genius. So if Tsunade still kind of had that little bit of strength, yeah, she could have been a problem in that time frame. Like just when you really think about how this would have played out too, you got to think about who all was there in that time frame, and what level of skill did they have in that time. That makes sense to like really understand. But at the end of the day, I'm still thinking that the Uchiha is getting mocked. They not making it, bro. They not. I'd say the survival rate would have been no more than 10%. No more than 10%. Sasuke in his innocence, he'd have been lucky to go to school. Probably they probably would have tried to associate him. They probably would have tried to associate Sasuke with the rebellion. If the coup managed to somehow actually happen, they probably would have actually associated Sasuke with the rebellion. Now that I'm really thinking about it, Sasuke probably wouldn't have been allowed to go to school. Y'all think that if the coup actually happened, even if it failed, you think Sasuke would have still been going to school with Naruto, or you think that they would have lumped him in with the rebellion, and then he getting sent to jail too? Yeah, a lot would have probably changed if the coup actually happened. The thing is, though, do we know? Do we actually know the real root of the rebellion, like the real reasoning for it? I don't remember that. I don't remember seeing any of the flashbacks to that show that. Like obviously, I remember seeing the flashbacks of uh the flashbacks that showed obviously going through the young age, and then showing the Uchihas as being part of the police force, and then uh you know Itachi being so busy there he don't want to even train his little brother or whatever. They trying to portray it as he being a cool older brother, but he really just kind of being whatever at the end of the day. But y'all, do y'all really think that Sasuke, what's going on, Mark? Y'all think that Sasuke would have actually ended up going to school with Naruto, or you think that Sasuke would have ended up in jail if that coup actually happened? I'll tell you, me personally, that coup, even if it happened, they're getting swept. 10% survival rate max. Whoever surviving, they getting sent to jail. Itachi, if he ended up being part of the coup, I think they still would have ended up losing, depending on who all was around. Like I was saying, because there were still some heavy hitters. It was that's the age where you had to show up and show out. You really had to have some skill in that time frame because of how many wars was really going on, or how in depth the wars was going on. So yeah, there was no there. I don't think that there was too many slouches in the village at that time. So no, I think regardless if Itachi even made it into part of the rebellion, they're still getting swept. 10% max survival rate. Survivors going to jail. Peace. We appreciate y'all. We'll get a new police force. I think that's what would have happened. Let's keep it 100. Am I wrong? I mean, what y'all think? What y'all think? If that coup would actually happen, what you think? What you think's going on? How you think it would have played out? You know, that coup would have changed so much. I really do want to know the reasoning behind how it came about, because obviously the reasoning for why they even decided that they was gonna make a coup. I think that plays a big part into, and that I think if they had a legit reason behind why they wanted to have a coup, it could slightly adjust my reasoning as far as what I want the coup to actually succeed. Like if it was just that they ain't have no good reason, but they just wanted to have a coup because they just wanted to be in power or something like that. They got tired of like Hashirama and Tobirama and the family, and they wanted to take over. Yeah, nah. Yeah, y'all go ahead and hold that L. Yeah, nah, y'all. Yeah, we ain't having that. But if it's like they got a legit reason, like okay, they felt like they was, if they felt like they was being abused, or they felt like they was, if they felt like they was slaves or something like that to the village, and they felt like they was mistreated or something like that. Okay, maybe I got a reason, maybe. but if that was the case and that's how y'all was feeling, that's something y'all could have talked about without having a coup. So, like, what's the real reason that they really wanted to have this coup? What's the real reason? What's the reason that you're gonna risk getting your whole clan murked, exiled, put in jail, or whatever? What's the real reason for this coup that y'all gonna risk it all to begin with? You know, like if they really told the reason for this coup in the flashbacks, I promise you I missed it. I promise you I missed it. Does anybody know the actual reason for the coup? No, y'all don't know the reason why the Uchihas wanted to cause an uprising. Cause I don't. I feel like if I'm right and they didn't actually give us the real reason behind it, we just know that they was gonna start it. Yeah, they losing. They losing. If that coup really happened, if that coup was to actually happen, they losing. Yeah, out of here. Sasuke and Itachi wouldn't have been the only survivors, but nah, they gone. They done. They done. Ain't no more Uchiha. True. Obito gonna have to find another person to instigate into the Akatsuki, cause nope, nope. In that time frame too, there's too many people with like real skill in that day and age. Like Itachi wasn't the only threat around. So even if Itachi was recruited into the rebellion, they still losing. They still losing to the village. I'm telling you. If anybody tell me that if Itachi was to join the rebellion, that they would have won, I'm gonna call you crazy. Same as way y'all probably calling me crazy. If anyone tried to tell me that if Itachi was to join the coup against the village, that the coup would have been successful, I'm gonna call you crazy. I do not believe that at all, at all. No, they losing, bro. They losing. I'm telling you. You know why I say that? And it's a biased answer, but you know why I say that? Because of that episode where with Sasuke bringing having the Orochimaru bring the Kage back. That little pinky flex had Sasuke just a little bit shook. Yeah. Don't play with Toby Rama. Don't play with him. Don't play with him. Yo, instead of making Boruto, they should have made sequel on that day and age with either Hashirama or Toby Rama or both. It don't even matter. I would much rather they had took it that route than go on with the I much rather that there was a sequel concerning the beginning of the village with Hashirama and Toby Rama and all them other wars. I would much rather that they had went that route than Boruto. Easily. Easily. Benny, you talking about you back, but I ain't even know you left. What's the word, Benny? You be watching this Naruto, or you just kind of listening in? I should probably tell y'all too. When I get done moving, getting to where I gotta go, and now I ain't telling y'all where I'm moving, so don't ask. Uh, when I get through with all this moving and everything, y'all about to be getting flooded with so much content. It's gonna be ridiculous. It's gonna be ridiculous. Y'all gonna go from damn, we still waiting on the episode 2 of Tomorrow Joe recap to dang, they sent like six recaps in a day. The rate of which I'll be watching episodes when I'm like sitting, I'm locked in, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. No Gucci. Ridiculous. So, dang, I don't even think I charged my laptop. But I was about to let y'all know what the tomorrow's topic was gonna be, but it ain't even on my laptop anyways. It's actually on my phone, which is being used right now. But nah, I kind of remember some of the topics, so I might let y'all pick this time around for what we're gonna do tomorrow. So obviously I got a list of like 10. I got a list of 10 conversations that we gonna have. Obviously for the next couple of lives, and that includes what are we doing? Mm, I wonder if it'll let me check this. Hold on. Okay, so the topic for tomorrow, I ain't even gonna. I was gonna give y'all a choice, but nah, I got one. So tomorrow's live question, I know I'm gonna go ahead and get that to y'all at least, is on Orochimaru. So when the war ended, right, and then you got like Sasuke out the village, but you got Orochimaru on house arrest, pretty much. Orochimaru being on house arrest, do you think that is lazy writing, or you think that that he just at that point he just a typical what would they refer to it as, like a cynical old man, pretty much at that point, like a cynical scientist or whatever, or do you think that that's just lazy writing on the report on the writer's part? So that's what we're gonna get into for tomorrow. But for today, obviously, we wanted to deep dive into the the coup d'etat for the Uchihas. And ain't nobody been hopping in the chat convincing me otherwise. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna let y'all know again to let y'all know I'm not playing with my answer because ain't nobody convinced me otherwise. Whether the coup recruits Itachi on their side or not, they losing. They losing heavy. 10% survival rate. That's what I'm telling you. What would happen? 10% survival rate. Survivors are going to jail. Sasuke is not going to school with Naruto. It's gonna be a whole different Team 7. And then even if Itachi was not on the rebellion side, he gonna be treated like an outcast. He gonna I think that if the coup actually happened, he gonna still be in the village, but he gonna be treated as an outcast. And not from the village, but from the clan. But he could have also still tried to protect Sasuke too. So I mean, it could have been where Sasuke ended up still going to school in Naruto, and then it would have just ended up being like, Itachi is like the second parent to Sasuke. That could have happened. That could have happened. I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. Because that would be kind of weird if somehow Sasuke got lumped in with the clan, even though he innocent. Because I mean, there's no way that Sasuke could have been the only kid in the clan at the time that was his age. That's a little hard for me to believe. You know, that makes sense. It's not like you dealing with like 4 or 5 people in the clan. Uh you talking about a whole clan. So Sasuke could not have been the only kid his age in the clan at that time. So yeah, it would have definitely. I think it would have. It could be weird if somehow Sasuke got lumped in. So I'll adjust my answer on that one. So I think that for if Itachi did not end up getting lumped in with the rebellion, I think that he would have ended up being a secondary parent to Sasuke. Sasuke going to school with Naruto still. So okay, cool. We can still get the team seven, but the Sasuke energy that we know of, I don't think that would be the same. Does that make sense? Because I said there's a difference between pre-massacre Sasuke as a kid and then post-massacre Sasuke. That's a whole different person. It's a whole different ball game. Y'all agree? Look, say one coup could have changed a lot if they win. If they win, they're not winning this. They're not winning this. That coup ain't happening. Well, even if it happened, them winning would not be happening. No sir. I think that like I said, I think that Itachi would end up being a secondary parent. Sasuke still gonna somehow end up going to school with Naruto. Team Seven could end up happening still, but the energy would be a little bit different because you know, yeah, his clan, you know, would have still did the rebellion. He would have still probably been ostracized a little bit. He really, at that point in time, he really could have been the you know, main character instead of Naruto, even with that time, even with that kind of background. Because Sasuke really had a fucked up background. Like him and Naruto both kind of had a really messed up background. So I mean, you could literally interchange them as main characters if you really wanted to. Though obviously Naruto has is a little bit more charismatic, so you know he appeals to us viewers a little bit more. You know, with just with being a more approachable. I guess you could put it that way. So, um, yeah, I think Sasuke's energy would have been not as serious, but probably just more. He would have still kind of been on that loner energy, but I feel like he would have been a little bit more sad instead of serious. I think that's the energy that he would have been bringing, you know, because obviously if your whole clan starts up a rebellion and you not dead or you not in jail with the survivors, you know, it's just you and Itachi left, whatever, but you in school, whatever. Okay, I mean, yeah, you might end up getting ostracized. Naruto got ostracized for having the nine tails, and none of them was allowed. None of them was allowed to speak on that around Naruto anywhere. It wasn't allowed to. So Sasuke, yeah, nah, he. I think that if Sasuke ended up going to school still after a coup failed, yeah, nah, he would have been getting ostracized. His energy would have been on like a combination of like sad and 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 being a loner. I don't think it would have been as serious, but it could still have a little bit of serious tendencies in it. Not tendencies, but there's a better word for it. But y'all know what I'm saying. Yeah, Sasuke's energy would have been completely different, you know, than what we currently know Sasuke as from when he was obviously just getting into going to school with Naruto. So we could still end up with the team seven, but the energy level would have probably been shifted just a little bit. Don't forget too that you know his popularity initially the well was not just on his looks. You know it was the he's a loner demeanor that kind of came into play too, or whatever. Not just the looks. You know, they all knew him for kind of just being to not being cool, but to himself. So yeah, I think that's how that would have played out. That's as in depth as I can get to thinking about it too. Ain't none of y'all convinced me otherwise. So no, ain't nobody convinced me otherwise. Somebody get it, like really. If y'all really think that I'm tripping, and y'all think that the coup would have turned out differently than what I'm saying, hey, let me know. Let me know. How would it have gone? Or you agree with everything I say? Because I'm telling you that they losing. Just off rip, they losing. Two, once again, I said that there will be no more than a 10% survival rate. If they ever even had a chance for a more than 10% survival rate, it would have been to like 50% of them immediately didn't make it, and then all of a sudden they threw in the white flag. Yeah, you know what? We gotta save lives at all costs, bro. We need the white flag. We need the white flag. I think that's the only way that they would have had more than a 10% survival rate if that coup actually popped off. I tell you, the more that we think about it, the more that you think about it, and then you say certain things out loud, it make you think about other parts of it because this ain't really something that we get into on. That's what we talking about it. But yeah, that's what I got. So, cause y'all don't want to put in y'all opinions, so I'm gonna assume that I'm right and how I'm thinking. I'm gonna assume that y'all agree with me, cause ain't nobody convinced me otherwise. Like I said, but for real though, like I said, I before I go to sleep, I still owe y'all the a recap for episode 2 for tomorrow's show. So as soon as I get off of here, I'm gonna go ahead and crank that out for y'all for the recap, and then like I said, once I get done moving, because it'll probably be over the next couple of days. So by the time the first rolls around, yeah, by the time the first July rolls around, I should be like completely done with the whole moving process and all that. So that'll be around when y'all start getting the whole gang of content just coming. Not to mention, y'all also, damn, I really want to do a reaction to this the EP. Look, for those of y'all who did not see my live yesterday, for those of y'all who did not see yesterday's live, y'all didn't see me go through the unboxing for my NFC key for Chameleonaire's The Crown Ain't Heavy EP that's getting ready to drop on the 28th, currently the 28th, right? This NFC key gonna allow me to have access to the content, and because I'm a loyal member, I'm gonna have my download and everything. I went ahead and ordered the CD too. Yeah, I don't want to hear nothing. What you get the CD for? Hey, look, I'm loyal. You ain't hear that part? I just said that. Loyal. Hold it down. Uh, but for real though, if y'all want to listen, the bundle is sold out, so you're not getting the bundle. You're not getting this. This is the part of the dark bundle, right? So came with the NFC key. Came with the T-shirt. I ain't gonna show it to y'all because y'all ain't gonna be able to see it correctly with the way I got the camera situated. And then obviously my hat and my signed flyer with his autograph. So yeah, no, y'all can't get the bundle no more. It's sold out. It's gone. But what you can do is you can go and get your membership on the site. Go ahead, order you the CD and go bang that. Pause. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to hop up off of here so that I can go ahead and get this recap going for y'all. Like I said, tomorrow's question. So in case one of y'all just kind of want to get y'all thoughts together, how how you want to think about for tomorrow's live. So tomorrow's live, like I said, is about Orochimaru. So after the wars ended, pretty much we're gonna be talking about when when he was pretty much on house arrest. So when you don't have when is that lazy writing, or did it kind of work out that he pretty much ended up being like a cynical old man scientist or whatever, So that's what we're gonna be getting into tomorrow. Um, and then also, for those of y'all who was listening, and I was going on about the website that I'm creating, I haven't got around to doing any work on it today. Obviously, with the moves, so I ain't really got no updates for y'all on that. I probably get to working on updates for it again, probably after the move is done. If we can get to where there's a little bit more time between the move, okay, maybe I'll go ahead and work on a few updates for it. But at the same time, I gotta balance out everything. So cause I really wanna have these conversations with y'all for the Naruto stuff and everything. Cause it's a lot we could talk about in Naruto alone, and then we got all the other animes. So once we get around to getting all the Naruto stuff out, we on to the next, and then another one. No Khaled. But for real though. So once I get off of here, go ahead and knock out that recap for y'all. So if y'all was keeping up with the first recap for tomorrow's Joe, y'all know that I still owe y'all the episode 2. So we gonna get on that. I think for the tomorrow's Joe, we're gonna stick with doing the recaps throughout. But eventually, once I get down moving and I get all my stuff set up, we'll probably go into doing some actual reactions. But the thing with me and doing reactions is I've seen quite a bit of stuff. And a lot of people, they gonna preach to you like reactions is brand new. I'm not doing that. I'm not giving y'all no fake reactions. Now the thing with me is when I'm an avid movie watcher, an avid show watcher. So when I'm watching stuff, I could feel the same way as the first time around. Typically, most of the time. For instance, I give you an example. If y'all caught my top 5 anime of all time list at the time, it was Yu Yu Hakusho. It's number 1. Well, I can go and watch Yu Yu Hakusho 100 times over and still feel the exact same anytime any of the characters die. I can feel the exact same. I promise you not. As soon as very first episode, when well, when Yusuke got hit by that car, and then not the part where he initially died from it, but the part mm, where he was getting ready to get burned alive. Yeah, I think that's the part. So where the part where he was getting ready to get burned alive, and I almost, the first time I watched it, I was like, oh man, he ain't gonna make it, bro. Yeah, because obviously the first time around you don't know what to expect, whatever. So I felt just a little bit emotional. I was like, oh damn, he had a whole, he kind of was being an asshole this whole time, but he trying to get his stuff together. He it's kind of under the skin that he really ain't a nice guy. He trying to get his stuff together. So I felt that later on in the show. Matter of fact, when Kuwabara in the dark tournament, yeah, in the dark tournament when Kuwabara, um, caught that he well, Kuwabara caught that, and then we thought that he really died. I felt some type of way every time, even after the 10th time that I rewatched it. I promise you, I rewatched Yu Yu Hakusho more than any other show. I promise you, I have. I promise you, I have. And I rewatched One Piece in English and Japanese multiple times. Multiple. Yes. Yes. I have. Mm-hmm. While y'all was complaining about too many episodes, don't bother me. Don't bother me none. I'm caught up. Are you? You caught up on One Piece? No? Alright. I'm caught up. Not on the manga. I need to. I really do need to get into manga in general. I'm eventually get into that. So me and my brother, we was talking about um doing quite a bit for later. That's what I'm sorry. That's what I was saying. When I get done moving, y'all gonna get like a whole gang of content just left and right. Y'all ain't gonna know what to do with it. Y'all ain't gonna be able to keep up. I promise you. You're gonna miss out on a lot. You will. It's gonna be too much for you. It's gonna be too much. I'm not even gonna remember what I uploaded. That's how much it's gonna be. No, I'm playing. But yeah, we was talking about we gonna get what we got planned for the future. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing the recaps. Eventually, when I get my equipment set up, we might go into reactions, but obviously on only if we do that, it's only gonna be on like anime I know I haven't seen yet. Period. But everything else, oh yeah, I can do recaps. I can do the recaps. Because obviously the more that you watch it, you notice different stuff. I notice something new every time that I get through One Piece. I didn't see that before. I ain't noticed that. It's crazy, you know. Or like one of the things that I pay attention to, especially a lot more lately, is if I'm watching one of the animes in English or whatever, I can actually recognize the English voice actors quicker than I can recognize the Japanese voice actors. I'm hearing stuff, obviously, tone of voice and it. Okay, that plays a big part in being able to recognize people for me. So the English, when I'm watching, Black Clover or I'm watching One Piece, you know, I can recognize Zoro's voice actor. I always refer to him as Zoro's voice actor. That's how I be going off of stuff. So that's just uh that's how that usually go. But for real though, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I gotta get through this recap for y'all. It's getting late, and I still gotta get back to this move tomorrow. So yeah, I ain't gonna hold y'all. But just be ready. I'm gonna try to do the live a little bit earlier. We wouldn't be supposed to be out working this late, but when we was turning in the truck, and I was getting picked back up from dropping the truck off, you know, my ride got stuck waiting on the train to pass. So I ended up being there a little bit longer than I needed to be. But it is what it is. And then it was like mosquitoes out and everything too. They was trying to get at me, so I had to sit in the cab, run and blast out that AC and make sure they was nowhere near me. I much rather deal with being cold than be getting hounded by mosquitoes. That's just me. So yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna holler at y'all later. If you check out the short, the very next short is gonna be the recap. So y'all can expect that probably in the next hour if you're gonna be up. If you're not, it is what it is. Just check it out tomorrow. It ain't that deep. I want to check the recap. I check it out later. Ain't nobody rushing y'all. About I'll tell you this. I'm not like a bunch of these other people that's already up on here. I'm not gonna beg y'all to go subscribe for stuff. I'm not gonna beg y'all for no likes. The only thing that I'd be asking for is to really just have a conversation with me. That's it. I don't really care about none of that other stuff. I don't. If it comes, it comes. It's like I can't stand people who go and ask for tips. I don't. Your work ethic should let that come in. That's what I believe. So whatever y'all do is on y'all. But I do appreciate y'all for hanging. I do. Because since I didn't got started up with this again, y'all been sitting tight. Y'all been listening. Y'all been saying, hey, what's up? And I try to respond. So y'all can be the ones that definitely said y'all was here in the beginning. So when things get popping, then hey, bragging rights all day. I was there when he started, when he was in the car, when he was doing it in the closet. Yeah, that's gonna be you. But yeah, let me go ahead and shut this down. Get that recap for y'all, and I'll probably do another short to let y'all know the general time frame that I'm gonna do live in advance instead of doing the live recap. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe I'll do both. It's just easier to do the shorts and this sometimes. But we'll see. So y'all be easy. Have a good night. You get up in the morning. Have a good morning. And then shit, go do a workout or something. Just get your energy up. Go drink some water. Disregard that I'm drinking this. Because I got my water on deck too. I'm over here looking at it like, where did I set it down at? It's in the kitchen. But I got my water. Trust me on that. I ain't gonna tell y'all to go drink water and I ain't drinking it. Right? It's the summer. It's hot. Be safe. Go stay hydrated. And yeah, I'll catch y'all tomorrow.